Okay, welcome to this video. Just as a quick before we start, Shannon is ill or sick. I'm covering for her today. Please send to her on her Twitter or on the Twitter from CFN or in the reactions of this video that you want her to get better. I'll notify her about that. Now let's get on to the game. Alright, Neighboring Islands. It's some sort of visual novel as how I've heard it, so I'm going to try it out. I do actually like visual novels, so I'm going to play new game. Vicious half-darkness wraps over most of the rooms. Dust dances in rare rays of dim light, somehow filling the premises with resemblance of life. Great a door encloses this uncapacious space from the rest of the lower deck. Albeit, and now it wasn't all congested. After all, it was planned for 4 prisoners. At the moment, it was occupied by just 1. One can say that these are regal conditions for the sentenced. If somebody were to enter in here, creaking with dusty steel of door hinges, they would easily find the lucky one in this gloom. There he is, huddled in the corner of the cell, far from the door and uninvited guests. Yet they haven't been here in a long time, for a long time. Time in enclosed space runs differently. Any prisoner will reaffirm you, especially if you are sentenced to be stranded on a lifeless patch of land in the midst of boundless Atlantic. The change of night and day can't be felt here. Food is brought irregularly. Sleep is almost always interrupted. Periodically, a beating is given or any sort of humiliation. Wait, there... Yeah, I know. Good to know. Alright, no. Punishment consisted of dragging a person from side to side under the bottom of the ship. That's keel hauling. I actually have learned that at school at some point, but let's go on. Let's get on with it. Torture is not a rarity as well. Torture is done simply for fun, because the captive doesn't possess any useful information at all. He was convicted for trying to revolt. All of the conspirators were captured after a delation. Part of them was already executed through means of keel hauling. Their bodies were dragged under the keel somewhere underneath this room. Dull thuds of mutilation bodies hitting the ship's boards were felt by prisoner's liver, echoing through his head during brief moments of calm. Time is impalpable. In such conditions. It stretches into an endless line, and then shrinks into the size of the sand grain, seeping through the fingers, unnoticed. Right now it was playing this cruel game with the person sitting in the dark corner of the cell. His dry throat and empty stomach explicitly stated that the last meal he had eaten was provided no less than a day ago. During this time, no one arrived here to check whether the prisoner is alive and in need of another beating. Did the captain really have a stroke of mercy in order to have to leave the main conspirator alone? Unlikely. I don't even know why I'm getting no sound. Like, I've tested the sound before. Or at least, well, when you're in settings, like... A few days ago, Siren Santi got into a storm. The ship fought the elements for a long time, which felt really dear to his cell. The hull groaned when lengthy crunch of wood, almost begging for mercy. The rocking was simply unbelievable. Even the pirate, who was accustomed to everything, got a share of it. And now he's a former pirate, of course. Like, I've never tested the sound in the game. Partition separating... Okay, bulkhead is partition wall. But I haven't actually tested in the game itself, only in the options, in the settings. So I don't know why this is happening. It's hard to say for how long was this continuing. But then there was a terrifying sound of a dull hit. Hull shook. The prisoner was thrown forward, his consciousness fading after hitting a bulkhead. His thoughts were swept into far corners of his subconscious, leading him away into sweet forgetfulness of memories, far from the gnawing feeling of helplessness and pain. Tortuga, zit ze daar? Wow. Sorry, that was just me saying something in Dutch. Yeah, we are actually in Tortuga Cavern Kren 6 months ago. So literally I was saying, Tortuga, are we there? But, well, I was stressing that. And I said it in Dutch. That was a little bit rip for me. So sorry about that. Tortuga Island in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Haiti, Turtle Island, Spanish. In the corner of the nosy tavern, several round tables were drawn together. Behind them sat about 10 male figures. Sipping ale, they were discussing something in a low voice. Crowding around the tables were around 24 of brave lads, who weren't interrupting the talk, but attentively listening in. It can be seen with the naked eye that this is a meetup of one of the local pirate crews, where something important is discussed. Probably a share out of loot is happening, or plans for the next foray into open seas. In any case, such meetings in Kren weren't a rarity. The tavern lured in the entirety of pirates from the local waters, who were practicing their dark trade in Caribbean Basin. Eavesdropping was not accepted here, as it's likely to pay for that with an heir, in literal sense of the word. Nonetheless, constant hubbub of the visitors of the noisy tavern muffled any conversation. Even the tired violin player, playing out of tune atop small scaffolding, could not break through the noise with his disgusting screeching. A maidservant had approached the gathering. The crowd parted, cleared the way to the tables, and closed behind her back. The girl brought a tray with firewater and accurately plated the weighted order on the wooden tabletops, which caused approving hooting for the gathered. There finally was a sound. Wait. But a tray of firewood. This is just exactly the same message, just with a sound this time. And with an actual part after it. Ale was immediately shared between them. The tavern maid was rewarded with a loud slap below the waist from an unshaved sailor. All the crew members guffawed together. There were sounds of amusing whistling, egged on by approving shouts. The bearded swine continued what he started, pulling the girl closer, with clear intention of kissing her enticing bust. Whistles and chattering of gentlemen of fortune were interrupted by the captain's shout. That sound, holy shit. Let's get back to the topic, scumbags. Captain of the schooner Siren Senti was especially impatient and irritable today. The girl used the pause to get out of the clingy embrace of her newfound admirer and hurried away. Northwest, this sail is called the Northwest course ship. Northwest. Wow. After filling our holds, we sail out the Northwest holding course to our range location. Any questions? The seamen clamored, discussing what they heard, but no one had decided to speak first yet. The voice of a man aged around 28 broke the silence. He was standing in the first row of those gathered around the tables. New character unlocked, an extra, Robert. Okay, thank you. This campaign looks unjustifiably risky, Captain, said newly appointed Coxswain. Maybe we shouldn't hurry with our doings. We have enough supplies to do a short-term raid on the Caribs. Let a respected quartermaster correct me if I'm not right, but the gunpowder stock is quite limited for such a daring plan. The spoils are, of course, very tempting, but we are not ready for such large-scale actions. Rob, you're a Coxswain, right? The captain's stare glinted with steel. So go think about laying a course, you landlubber. My information is right. This means that after this undertaking we can all retire as very wealthy gentlemen. The crowd of pirates approvingly hooted. Wassels, wow, I don't even know how to say this, honoring the captain of Siren Senti. The threats towards the Spanish crown sounded among the crowd. Somebody crack the jack. Wow. Drew, please. Somebody cracked a dirty joke about the war talents of the Spanish captains, which provoked the bunch of cutthroats who sensed the plunder even more, but Coxswain did not let up. Still, Captain, not all of our crew members are guided here. I suggest bringing this issue to everyone on board. It's a big risk, and everyone has the right to. Shut up already, nephew. Well, enough of this ratty fuss. Such a chance happens once in a lifetime, and I'm not planning to let things slide just because some weaklings are afraid to meet resistance which is stronger than usual. We have made risky forays before, and they brought good results. Look at what we achieved. We have the fastest schooner out of all others which sail these seas. Siren is ready for everything, and I'll be damned if we don't use the fruits of our labor. I never let you down before, lads. I will not let you down this time. Captain, I'm just saying that we should make the decision with a full crew and not... The talk is over, Robert. Habit interrupted the coxswain with a gruff voice. All of us know that soon the Dutchmen will try to take the water area of Santo Domingo for themselves. Surrounding waters will soon be filled with warships of every kind, so we will have to lay low for at least half a year. If our overdeed is done, we will spend that time well fed and in company of busty women. The crowd shouted in approval. O'Civilian understood that he will not find support from this gathering and decided to cease talking. Robert understood perfectly well why only a part of us was present on this meetup. People who were gathered here are those loyal to the captain and those who are supposed to be here accordingly to the ship's regulations. The rest remains on the Siren under the pretext of current ship maintenance, and they will be informed when the decision is made. Alas, the regulations of the schooner allowed making decisions by a vote majority, which the captain took advantage of that evening. So, gentlemen, time to vote. Who agrees? The assembled, quite expectantly, raised their hands. All of them except the helmsman Robert O'Civilian, and chief cook Jean-Jacques Leclerc, who was usually called by everyone simply as Mr. Leclerc. Many respected this sturdy Frenchman, but in this case, lack of his voice did not decide anything. The captain's offer was accepted, and there was no going back from this. For luck, gentlemen, bottoms up. If you want to see more of this game, I can't really go any further. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. If you want to say more, it is on Steam. I think that's the best way to describe it. I do think that the storyline is going to be much more than only this, because I really think it's going to be extremely big. But I don't know, I know it's like €7 on Steam at the moment, 7 or 8. For as far as I know, I can actually check it. Let me quickly check it. I have my phone, so... I just hope that Steam is working. Because it's trying to load now. No, the app isn't working on my phone at this moment. I think it's around... I don't think it's more than €10. Let me say it that way. But, yeah, tomorrow I'll even take my own slot. I know I've been away for a couple of weeks. And this is my comeback because Shannon has gotten sick. And I just felt like I need to do something. I need to take over her slot for this day so she can rest and so she doesn't have to be worried about anything going wrong. But I'm going to say it this way: have a good one.